On December 5, 2011, an American drone was captured by Iranian forces near the city of Kashmir in Iran. The Iranian government said it was brought down by its cyber warfare unit, which commandeered the aircraft and safely landed it in Iran. After initial reports from Western news sources disputedly claimed that it had been shot down, the United States government initially denied the claims. Later, President Barack Obama acknowledged that the downed aircraft was a U.S. drone. Obama asked Iran to return the drone. Be sure once this drone landed, the Russians and Chinese had immediate access to it. They reversed engineered it and found its weaknesses. Imagine the president of a nation at war with you, killing your scientists and sanctioning you, asking for your drone back. A drone sent to spy on you, asking on national television.
How embarrassing, K.M. Hemmings.
What would make President Obama so desperate to ask his enemies, please return that drone? I'm sure that the Iranians laughed and laughed and laughed. Also, how did they even bring down that drone?
It's called electronic warfare, K.M. Hemmings.
They took over this sophisticated drone 10,000 feet above the ground, took control of it, and made it land in Iran.
Amazing, K.M. Hemmings.
Iranian scientists, alongside their Russian counterparts and Chinese counterparts, have been working together to mitigate American military power. They have formed an alliance, like NATO. They exchange technologies and exchange military capabilities, for they are all under American sanctions, American aggression, American destabilization. The Americans say that this is a rules-based order, but what they mean is that the Americans make the rules and everybody else follows their orders. There was a reason that Obama was desperate, groveling, begging for that drone back. That advantage that they held in this new era was now neutralized. Every era of war, there was a weapon that changes the paradigm, a weapon that challenges everything. In World War I, it was the machine gun. No more Napoleonic warfare, no more lines of soldiers shooting together in a formation, but one machine gunner would turn them into minced meat. World War II, it was a tank. The machine gunner had no hope against a tank. In the Ukrainian war, Americans shipped Abram tanks, and the Germans shipped Leopard tanks, and the Allies all kinds of armored mechanized vehicles, each costing millions, weighing anywhere from 10 to 40 tons, 20 to 88,000 pounds. Russia used $20,000 Iranian kamikaze drones to turn the Ukrainian fields into a burning bush of Allied vehicles. 20,000 US drones against $10 million tank.
Amazing.
The USS Gerald Ford, a staggering aircraft carrier warship, cost $12 billion and an additional $4.7 billion in research and development. It's 337 meters long, over 3 football fields. The carrier carries 90 aircraft, including fighter jets, helicopters, and unmanned vehicles. Yet, it was held far off the coast of Yemen and Lebanon because it was vulnerable to drone warfare. It shoots $2 million missiles, while the Yemenis shoot $2,000 drones. It only holds 90 of these missiles at a time, and had the Persians or the Lebanese or the Yemenis wanted, they could easily make it run out of ammo by simply overwhelming it with drones. And then once they were out, as a brilliant man once said, a ship is a floating coffin. Why do you think they have not invaded Yemen yet? How could the poorest country in the Arab world declare war on the most powerful nation, and yet they do nothing? Operation Prosperity Guardian, the American mission to protect ships in the Red Sea, was recently announced. Soon after, a tanker under an Israeli flag was warned not to trespass in Yemeni waters. When the tanker was threatened, they asked assistance from nearby Operation Prosperity Guardian forces. They were told to do evasive maneuvers. No help ever came to them. They later docked and assessed the damage the ship sustained, for it was struck by Yemeni forces. How would one expect a giant tanker to even do evasive maneuvers? It blows my mind. Change direction slightly, move slightly faster, and where was the USS Gerald Ford and its capabilities? Nowhere to be found. Yemen fought 6 years against Saudi Arabia before they left.
When did they leave, K.M. Hemmings?
They bought $100 billion worth of weapons off of Trump, the single largest purchase of weapons ever, and they were still forced to leave.
When did they leave, K.M. Hemmings?
when their oil fields were attacked with drones, suddenly the war wasn't worth it anymore. Britain supported this ongoing conflict in Palestine. They wanted no ceasefire. But their oil company, British Petroleum, said they would no longer move through the Red Sea because of Yemeni threats. This would cost them huge sums of money in insurance and travel fuel, as well as time. This was terrible for business. 1 hour after British Petroleum announced this, Prime Minister Sunak suddenly wanted a ceasefire. How convenient. The Russians in Ukraine have shown cheap Iranian drones and artillery shells have defeated the entire NATO military forces and left all their equipment on fire in the Ukrainian fields.
But KM Hemmings, can't they also use drones against Russia? Against Iran?
Yes, narrator. But do you remember how that drone was taken back in 2011? It was electronic warfare. And the combined experience and cooperation of China, Russia, and Iran, forced together by their collective aggressors, they have discovered new capabilities, new electronic capabilities that the United States or its allies do not possess. When Ukrainian drones go up over Russian fighters in the Ukraine, they enter an electronic web and fall out of the skies like birds hitting a skyscraper. Every era has a weapon that changes everything. This era is drones and electronic warfare. The USS Gerald Ford left recently because they know that the era of war that they were of any use is over. Look at Yemen and look at the humiliation they caused. Look at Iran with their tiny rinky-dinky drones. A ship is a floating coffin.